Let's evening come again, to lead night by the hand. Know where birds are calling, slow where waves are stalling. It's evening come again.
Too often you don't look past your immediate surroundings, and I think when you get into a place like this, you're forced to, your perception deepens. You know, you realize that there's so much more to explore and so much more signals in the universe coming your way if you just open up your mind and open up your, your soul to receiving them.
Although we might live in the city and you don't get to be inspired by stuff like this on a daily basis, I definitely hear music every day by people who might live out here, and so it's that music that inspires this image of wilderness and beauty and nature, and you kind of then try to strive for that idealization yourself.
That was a band called the Wilderness of Manitoba from Toronto.
I've been talking to the Wilderness of Manitoba, Will, Scott, Melissa.
A relatively new four-piece from Toronto.
And beautiful all at once. The voices are in harmony from the get-go. They start right off the top in harmony with one another, and it is beautiful all the way through. Haunting, that's the best way to describe it. It'll get under your skin.
From their ethereal EP
entitled Hymns of Love and Spirits, and track we heard was called, well, if that isn't a highlight for this year, that I don't know what is, but that was really nice. Thank you so much for doing that.
Here is the Wilderness of Manitoba.
I really like the group dynamic. It's really nice. Trust is built on friendship, right? And we're building a friendship as well as a band, and that's really nice.
I'm dating 3 people right now.
And I think, yeah, and I think that that the trust that we have with each other, writing on each other's songs, things like that. I think that will just kind of grow over time.
Always waits for the midnight. Holds the dreamer in his hands.
Songwriting is about tiny subtleties and maybe exaggerating them or embellishing them. I think we would love every song to have an emotional backbone of some kind, and I think they all do come from that place within everybody here.
I think the music we write does have, a lot of people say, for instance, does have a very wintry feel. And I know, for instance, the EP, when it came out, a lot of people said, wow, this is like the perfect winter record, because it's just so comfortable and like full of these sounds that are just really soothing and capture kind of the essence of winter.
I think the upcoming new record is perhaps even more wintry than the old record.
The irony there, though, is that most of it was either written in part or in full in the summer in parks downtown Toronto, where we can find a little bit of green space to still sort of escape for that little while from the concrete that surrounds us.
The full length we're going to put out, there's a lot of variety, but the fact that we all have to agree and say, I like this, I want to include this, this is the part I'm going to add, also lends it a cohesiveness. So it all sounds unified, but has all these different kind of facets to it.
I think the sound is a lot fuller to me when I listen to the mixes that we have now. There's a certain richness in the quality of a sound that's made by an actual object as opposed to something that's been programmed in. I think it gives sort of like a genuinity to our sound, and Sean, our drummer, percussionist, has a bunch of cool things that he does as well to
Well, he's big into sounds
to fill that
too.
out. Yeah.
This is evening take 2. Good? In Serbian. Yeah. We good? That makes no sense.
Well, it's evening come again, to lead night by the hand. Know where birds are calling, slow where waves are stalling, and it's evening come again. Behind the hills.
The song Evening was written by my mother in the late 60s, and she had done some recordings in New York. She had the vinyl transferred off an old 7-inch onto a CD that I got on my 25th birthday, and I listened to the recordings, and that the song Evening I particularly thought was something I would be interested in playing.
It's an emotional song. Even when we were learning how to do it, it was still, relatively soon after Will's mom passed away. So it took on this sort of bigger importance, a greater meaning.
And it's evening come again, to lead night by the hand. No birds are calling, slow waves are stalling, and it's evening come again.
Behind the hills glowing brown, the sun drinks another round.
The cycle and the circle game, life and death, starting and ending.
The emotion in the house when we all watched Will lose his mother, and then having Evening Story sort of being the one song that gave birth to this band. In that loss, we gained a way to cope and to manage and to support each other, and here we are a year later, still doing the same thing.